Gary?
Marks, I guess it's almost unavoidable at this point with the Heisman coming out next week, and you've always been good about being all about the team and everything. But as it's gotten closer, have you given it a little bit more thought? And if you were happen to have been the winner, what would that mean to you and the university?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, to be honest with you. I'm gonna wait probably till after this game and make sure my attention and all my focus is on this week. But yeah, it's gonna be a dream come true. Hopefully, if I'm invited, that'd be an awesome deal. But again, I wouldn't be in this position without my teammates, and hopefully in the end, whatever the outcome is, the invitation itself is just an honor and a privilege.
Stephen Alexander, front row to your left.
You said a dream come true. I mean, is it something that you grew up thinking about? I mean, what is it, when you were a little kid, how did you grow up thinking about the Heisman and thinking about yourself winning it, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, any young athlete, any young football player would, I mean, have dreams and aspirations of being a part of the ceremony and maybe even winning it. For me, I grew up watching it. If it was on TV, the whole family would watch it. It's kind of a cool deal to see, really the best player in the country get recognized, and just kind of something it's cool to see that he gets recognized for his hard work and what he's been able to accomplish. So yeah, I mean, for me, I really thought it was really dreamt about it. To say that I expected myself to be here, it would be a lie. This is all really just surreal, and I'm very thankful to be a part of the conversation.
Aaron Fentress to your right.
Do you have a favorite Heisman winner?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anyone you emulated in your backyard or the living room? As you watched them?
Well, I grew up, watching, the Trojans for so many years, and Matt Leinart was, fun to watch. And what he was able to do with that team, I mean, they played with two really Heisman Trophy winners with Reggie Bush. But, those guys were awesome to watch, and, to see them win it was pretty cool.
Matt Prim to your right.
How do your teammates handle the discussion? Did they treat it like a pitcher who's pitching a perfect game and just don't even bring it up? Or do they talk to you about what it would be like for you to win it and for the school?
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been much conversation about it. I think for me, it's nice because they respect that, I'm really just trying to focus on this game. A lot of the guys, I'm sure, will probably start talking about it once this game is done. But at the same time, again, I just really focus on this week, and when they do start popping up, I'm sure it'll be all out of fun.
Chris Peach, front row.
Marcus, at the beginning of the season, somebody asked Scott Frost if you were too nice. And his response, I thought, was really interesting, that he felt that there was something to that he wanted you to take ownership more of being the quarterback, and that as your role there and the success of the team were one and the same. Do you think that was a valid point of view? Do you remember having those kind of conversations? And if it's true, what did you do differently as this season went on to kind of work on that?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Frost really wanted me to step up as a vocal leader. That's something that we've kind of talked about for a few years now in regards to my leadership and how I can really use my voice as an influential tool. For the most part, it was me being more assertive. Expecting guys and letting them know what I was seeing, and making sure that we're all on the same page. I really feel that I've come a long way in that sense. For me, I was very quiet and really just didn't really speak out as much. So I really kind of got out of my shell this last couple years, but really this year was different for me, and again, I can't thank those guys enough for really pushing me to do that.
Jake Zivin in the back.
Marcus, you just spoke of growing up wanting to go to the Heisman ceremony and thinking about winning it. Were you disappointed last year when it looked like for so much of the season that at least you'd be going there, and then you didn't even get an invite?
Not at all. Those finalists last year deserved to be there. They all had great seasons. For me, it was, one of those deals that, obviously people have their opinions and can't do much about it. All I could really focus on was how I was playing and not worry about what other people think or, the invitation process or anything like that. So it didn't bother me at all. I really just focused on my play and try to get better as a football player.
Molly Blue, center in the back.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Oregon is pretty good at putting on Heisman campaigns and has a pretty good grasp of traditional media and social media. There hasn't been a campaign per se for you off the field. Did you have a voice in that decision? Was that part of something, the way that you wanted to handle it?
Yeah, it was a collective effort. It was in regards to, myself, my family, the coaches. It really wasn't just my decision. It was, everyone kind of put a part into it. So, for me, I really didn't want all that attention. And I'm glad that, they were able to kind of accept that and respect that decision.
Steven Alexander, front row to your left.
You talked about becoming more of a vocal leader and that sort of thing. Was that something that you wanted to improve in terms of needing that improvement for the next level? And on top of that, I mean, I know you haven't decided about going on to the next level yet, but if you were, how are you more prepared for that now than you were a year ago?
For me, the leadership deal wasn't to get ready for the next level, was to help this team out and find ways to get this team better. For me, I feel that being able to come back for another year really has allowed me to get better as a football player, learn better about defenses, continue to work on my footwork, ball security, little things that can always make you better as a football player. So, when that decision comes, we'll make it at the end of the year. But I feel that this year has really helped me out.
Chantel.
Non-Heisman question for you, Marcus.
Sounds good.
How have you seen Arizona's defense grow since the last time you played them?
Yeah, they have done an awesome job of not allowing teams to score points in the red zone. Their three down guys have done an awesome job of kind of holding line of scrimmage and allowing their linebackers to make plays. They got a great group of linebackers that have really played well this year. They're very aggressive and they cover well. So we're really gonna have to be prepared for this. We've had a good couple of days, and we're looking forward to the challenge on Friday.
Andrew.
Is there anything unique about this defense, the system, or the people who run it, like the Scooby Wrights of the world, the Tevises? Is there anything unique about them, or are they just really good at what they do?
You said it best. They're really good at what they do. They play very hard. They're a scrappy bunch that finds ways to turn the ball over and get stops on defense. They really are just a stingy defense that, like you said, is really good at what they do.
You spoke of kind of watching Matt Leinart growing up. I think you're tied with him with touchdowns, 99. Right? You may have passed him actually in the last game. Are there records that you've broken or set or milestones that even awe you? You don't seem like someone who really gets excited about those things, but is there one or two that you even thought, wow, that's pretty remarkable?
No disrespect, but no, I really, honestly, I haven't. A lot of these records are milestones. I haven't really put much thought into it, and a lot of times you guys are the first ones to tell me that I broke it. So, no, it's okay. Yeah, it's again, I can't say enough about the guys inside the locker room. I wouldn't be where I am without those guys, and I hope that each record that's broken, people realize that it was a collective effort, not just me.
Big Ziven in the back.
Marcus Anu Solomon is a quarterback from Hawaii. Didn't go to high school there, but grew up on the islands. Do you have a relationship with him? And in general, how do you feel when you see another quarterback from Hawaii coming up, being successful as a freshman?
Yeah, I met Anu actually in Hawaii. He came, I think he was visiting family, and we were able to work out together. He came to my high school and threw routes and stuff like that. And again, a humble kid. He was awesome to meet. Threw the ball well, and to see him have success, it's always fun, and it's always, for us as Polynesian athletes, it's always really just an awesome deal to see. I mean, this culture, this Polynesian culture, takes a lot of pride in any athlete, any Polynesian athlete, and to see him do well, especially as a redshirt freshman, we're pretty proud of that. And as long as he continues his career, we hope the best for him and wish him the best.
Aaron Fentress.
Marcus, how important has Byron been to the passing game, and what does it say about him as a player and a person to not only make the transition, but to do it so well and become such an impact at that spot?
It's been pivotal. He's such a dynamic player, and for us, in the position that he plays, it allows us to get him the ball in space. And with a guy like that who's very versatile in space, it allows us to get a lot of chunks of yards and really score points. And for him to make that transition says a lot about his character and what he feels about this team. And very very team oriented guy, and really just kind of happy to see him have success.
I have time for a couple more questions, starting with Tyson.
When you look back at your career a little bit, there are some of those kind of pivotal games over the last couple seasons, like the two Stanford ones, or maybe even Arizona last year. With as much is riding on this game Friday, when you guys look back at it, how big is this third Arizona game for you guys? And just, I know you're not a guy who kind of talks about like legacy or sentimentality, but just what's this one mean for you with as much riding on it?
It would just mean that we were able to accomplish, our team goals that we set for ourselves this year. And all in all, that's what you want to accomplish. And even through a little adversity in the beginning of the year with that loss, and now we have an opportunity to win the Pac-12 and to accomplish our goals. It's going to mean a lot to us as a team. And I think we're very focused. We've prepared well, and we're excited for this one.
Jake Ziven.
Marcus, you mentioned your pride for being a Polynesian football player, being from Hawaii. Do you have motivation would winning the Heisman mean more to you to be able to bring it back to the islands and be the first Hawaiian to win it, certainly the first Hawaiian quarterback to win that award?
Yeah, I mean, it would, that's a great question. I think it would hopefully open up doors for a lot of younger kids to see that, a Polynesian kid can have the opportunity to be a part of the conversations and to be a part of the ceremonies. And, hopefully for me, it'll provide some motivation and really allow kids to see that they can take their opportunities and make the most of it.
I think we started and we will end with Gary Horowitz.
Thanks. Marcus, Sunday everything is going to be determined as far as the playoff teams, and I know you haven't paid much attention every Tuesday to see what the rankings are, but do you think this has been good for college football? It's maybe even been an improvement over the BCS?
Yeah, I think it provides teams an opportunity to kind of have a second chance. It's going to provide hopefully a clearer picture of the best four teams in the country and giving them an opportunity to kind of determine who is the best team in the country. So, I think with, anything that is created to kind of sort of say like the playoff, if they wanted to go to a bigger team playoff, I think you'll always have controversy because if you go to 8-team playoff, the 9 and 10 team will think that they deserve to be in. And I think no matter what, I think, as you transition from each one, it's an opportunity for teams to have that chance to be a part of the picture. And, I do think it's good for college football, and it's, going to be a lot of fun to see what happens.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you. Have a good
I have
day.
a request for those. If you